Ennerdale. Griselda, very good afternoon to you. Welcome to AM News. Now, please give us an update of the situation in Ennerdale from where you stand.
Well, Tumolo, the situation is very tense here at the Katok informal settlement here in Ennerdale on a second day of violence that has disrupted voter registration here at the Katok informal settlement. Essentially, what residents are saying is they're unhappy with the services that have been delivered to this area. They say they've been waiting for services for a very long time, and the informal settlement doesn't have any recreational facilities. They're living in squalor and are essentially saying that they're not going to register to vote until the councillor of this area does come to address them. Just here behind me, just a few minutes before you went, we came to air. Some of the police officers are making their way into those bushes where some of the residents have been flinging stones at the police officers, and some tyres also were being burnt here a little bit earlier on this morning in some of the areas that we certainly cannot go into due to the volatile nature inside the informal settlement. Some tyres are burning towards my right-hand side there, and essentially ISC officials are telling us that there's been absolutely no registration here this morning. They don't think there'll be registration here this afternoon. The situation is quite tense at the moment. If I could bring you to this side as well, you could see that this is just one of the police nyalas that has made its way inside the informal settlement. It's just one of about 3 of the police nyalas that are here at the informal settlement. We see more police reinforcements as well that are being brought here to the Katok informal settlement. So all of this, the residents of this area are saying, is due to what they term a lack of service delivery. They're saying that the councillor who is in charge here needs to step down. They're not planning to register, and they do understand the consequences of not registering, that they may not be able to participate. If we could just show you what's happening towards, we could ask our camera person, Given Masetoni, to just pan towards that direction there. You can see more police officers are heading towards the shrubs there, where some of the residents are burning more tyres far ahead of us. I'm not sure if you're able to see that at the moment. So what the police are managing to do at the moment is to move from this area where we are standing, because they keep scattering themselves quite far along this area here in the Katok informal settlement. Just to paint a picture for you of where we are, Dumelo, it's near Ennerdale in the south of Johannesburg. The Katok informal settlement is just one of the informal settlements that surrounds the Ennerdale township here in this area. So many of the residents as well, also some of them locking their gates, some of them also choosing to stay inside due to the volatile nature at this Katok informal settlement. But essentially at this point, ISC officials have their hands tied. No registration has taken place here since this morning, and essentially we'll have to see what happens at this moment and how police are planning to contain the situation here at the moment. But more police vehicles are moving from this place where we're standing at the moment to the area where the violence seems to be spreading. It had been taking place at this point where we are here at the moment, but it seems to be spreading to other areas. Police did fire rubber bullets a bit earlier on, just a few minutes ago before we came to air, and more police reinforcements are being brought in. Certainly we want to hear from the IEC spokespeople what the way forward is regarding this. Of course, we know that the voter registration period, this was the weekend for South Africans to go and register to make sure that they're eligible to vote in the local government elections, which are scheduled for later this year. So police kind of have their hands full at this point. If I'm going to ask our camera person to pan again for us towards this direction, you will be able to see just far ahead there towards the north there, one of the tyres that has been set alight. We're unfortunately unable to take our equipment to those particular areas, as of course you would know, our outside broadcast van is parked a little bit of a distance away from where the violence is taking place, but they continue to set more tyres on fire, and we're seeing quite a lot of the protesting residents in this area move towards a hill which is far behind me, as police police move through the township to try and restore this area to some kind of normality. That's what we have for you at this point, Jamela. We'll certainly bring you more, but there is no registration taking place here at the Katok informal settlement in Ennerdale.
And before I let you go, Griselda, I see police, vans and cars as well as the nyalas behind you. Can you confirm at this stage if any arrests were made?
We cannot say at this stage. We're waiting for an official comment from the spokespeople from the South African Police Service. Of course, you would know that the police officers here are not allowed to speak to the media, so we'd like to hear from the spokespeople themselves. We're still waiting for official comment on if any arrests have been made, but certainly this has been a second day of violence at the moment. Second day of violence where the registration process here has been disrupted, and no official comment at this stage from the police with regard to whether any arrests have been made. But what you're looking at the moment is this informal structure sort of that has been put up here at the Katok informal settlement, where people were scheduled to register from yesterday. That hasn't happened. The two IOC officials that you are seeing in front of me, certainly there's not much that they can do at this stage but except to wait and see what takes place at the moment. We're also waiting for official comment from the IEC spokesperson who speaks on behalf of this area. He gave us assurance that he will be speaking to us in the next few minutes, but all he could say to me was they did set up the infrastructure to ensure that registration was made possible for the people of this area. There's not much they can do if at this stage they cannot, if people do not want to come and register. As you can see, we're focusing a bit on that part at the moment, Tumelo. You can see the smoke billowing through the air, more tires being set on fire here at the informal settlement. That's just one of, I think, about 4 or 5 of the tires that I've seen in that area. We'll certainly go into the area and monitor the situation there, but I think for the safety of our equipment, it's best for us to broadcast from the place where we are at the moment, and we'll certainly bring you more from inside. But the police nyalas and a lot of police reinforcements have been deployed inside the informal settlement. It's sort of a ghost town, if I could paint it that way, Tumelo, because you'll see many of the people in this area have decided to lock themselves inside their shacks, and those who are protesting in this area have managed to flee towards a mountain that is not too far from here as they try to keep away from police, as police, of course, try to restore some of the chaos that we're seeing here. Much towards the other direction. I'm not sure we're going to be able to show you that at the moment. Another tire has just been set on fire as well. Police officers have been dispatched there. I'm unable to see exactly what is going on there, but I guess police are going to need to extinguish quite a lot of the tires that have been set alight here at the moment. Certainly, of course, what's important is that we will speak to the residents as well a bit later on. Those, of course, who will be willing to speak to us, as many of them have fled towards the far direction there, would need to get into the informal settlement and hear exactly what their concerns are. We hope to speak to them on camera and, of course, speak to the IEC about what plans, I guess, will be made for those who are unable to register, because from the sense that I'm getting is that not everybody is protesting at the informal settlement. There are those who chose to just sit inside their homes and might feel a bit disenfranchised, the fact that they've been denied the right to check if they're eligible to vote. Perhaps what plans will be made for those individuals who feel that they do want to participate in the upcoming local government election. We'll bring you a lot more of that and possibly all the relevant people to speak to a bit later on when we cross to you, Jamela, but it's back to you in studio for now.
Well, thank you so much. That's our SABC reporter, Griselda Lewis, who, of course, is in Ennerdale, updating us about the violent protests occurring there regarding service delivery or lack of service delivery thereof. We understand that burning tyres had been witnessed. Police nyalas as well as police vehicles were seen, as well as police officers trying to extinguish the burning tyres. Now, we understand that it's not everyone that has been participating in these protests. Some have actually stayed in their houses. Some have fled towards the northern parts of mountains to keep safe. However, a few have decided to protest, with the IEC officials there being stuck and also reporting that there haven't been any registrations so far in the area.